Hello, Urban Faith. It's so good to be with you again. It's exciting to be part of sharing another story, another artist, another amazing work. We're here today with Aaron Cole. He is a young artist, but he's been doing his thing for years and years. He has a new album out, Sorry I Changed Again. And so, welcome to Urban Faith. Aaron, it's so good to be with you.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. So I have to ask you, the album just came out. Sorry I Changed Again. Why
Yeah.
would you name this album that? Tell us about where that came from and what it means to you.
Yeah. In April, I dropped the album Sorry I Changed. It was just the original album and stuff like that. And so with this one, it's the deluxe. And the whole concept of Sorry I Changed is just, man, I feel like it was a lot of changes going on in my life. It was like, this is my first album I made where I was married. This is the first album I made on Sony RCA Records.
Hmm.
So just on the basis level, it was a lot of changes. But I feel like God was just showing me too that real life changes you, man. Going through, you know what I'm saying, just the real nitty gritty of life changes you in ways that you're not really ready for it. And so
Mm,
for me, like just losing family members, losing friendships, navigating business relationships, like it just changed me a lot. And it's just like I feel like God was showing me too, like once you know what he's done for you of just dying on the cross and the whole nine, it's just like it's a lot of things that you have to change about yourself. It's a lot of things that you have to change about the people that's around you. And it's some remorse that comes with that because it's just like, man, like I'm sorry I have to leave you in the past, but it's like I have to in order for me to go to the next level that God's called me to.
yeah,
So that's just the whole basis of the heart. Sorry, I changed like era movement. And so with the deluxe, it was like, man, sorry I changed again because honestly, we're always changing. It's like we're changing each and every day because if we're being honest, we're not perfect. It's like we're not perfect, and each and every day we're trying to be more like God, who is perfect, who never changes. You know what I mean? So
right,
it's like
right.
yeah, that's the whole concept, man. It's just like, man, we're always changing and we're always just trying to develop into the person that God's called us to be. So,
I feel like that's so real, and that's something that believers deal with, right? Especially like
yeah.
you're trying to live more like God and be more faithful, and a lot of times you lose friends and you lose
Yep.
folks who used to have your back, and now that they're
Yeah.
not trying to change with you, so you got to
Not at
keep moving
all.
forward.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it, man.
It sucks sometimes, but it's like you have to, man. You have to, because some people is just they're going on their own journey. So it's like as you're moving this way, it's like they're not catching up with you. And so it's just like it sucks at times that you have to let people go, but I had to let a lot of people go, man, just in order for me to continue to grow in what the journey that he has me on. So
Yeah, I feel that. So one of the things I've got to ask you this, listening to some of the new singles and hearing some of your music, you got some deep musical influence. I mean, and
yeah,
I'm seeing this stuff. I mean, you got
yeah.
samples from stuff that's good classic R&B. You got some soul. You got some.
Yeah.
So talk about your influences. Influences you musically, and tell me about how that showed up in this project.
Yeah. Like you said, man, I grew up on soul music. So the Stevie Wonders, the 90s R&B, the 2000s R&B, it's like that's
Yeah,
all I'm listening to, bro. Like all of it. Stevie Wonder, Music Soul Child. I got the Carl Thomas sample. Like
yeah.
it's a lot of things that I grew up listening to, but also with the gospel too, it's like the Kirk sample that we got, and being able to have Kirk on that, it's just like, man, it's just full circle moments, man. And so yeah, that's my influences, man. All if you can back in the day, man, the soul music is like that's what I'm still listening to this day for real. The Anita Baker's, all that. I'm like, I'm really tapped into that wave.
See, that's it. That's it. So, like, my wife's big on Anita Baker. She's playing
Okay.
her, and that's coming through for our kids. And I had to tell you, I was sitting with my daughter, who's 3, listening to your stuff, and she was
Okay.
like, trying to sing along, and she said,
Yeah.
"Is that the same? Is that like something I've heard before?" Because it sounded like what she's heard her big sister playing, and so your
Yeah.
music is so relevant, man.
Let's go.
Tell
Let's
me
go.
about. what that means to you, that you're speaking and sharing, hip hop, you're singing on these tracks in ways people can relate to today. Why is that important to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, I think it's just for me, it's important because I feel like I'm just on this journey to impact this generation in a way that even something that I'm not ready for, I feel like I'm ready for, but like still just developing in, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like, man, I'm called to just inspire people to go after their dreams, go after their goals. And it's like I have to enhance my music to, you know what I'm saying, compete with the music that this generation is already listening to. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
I have to develop and stay up there because it's just like a lot of people think because it's Christian, it's like it's supposed to like it's good, it's automatically good. It's just like no, like
no, yeah,
you have to enhance your pen just like everybody else enhances their pen, or you're not gonna reach this generation for real. So it's like that's why it's important to me, man. It's just like I want people like when they hear I love it, that you know what I'm saying. If your daughter listening to I love it, they can
yep,
go play for the people that's at school and they like, what's this? Like this hard. Like I rock with this. You know what I mean? And they
yep,
get the message later. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the whole wave that I'm on right now. Cause I just feel like, man, if I want people that in this generation to listen to my music, it has to be something that they can, you know what I'm saying? It is of that caliber. It's like just because, you know what I'm saying, I represent God in my music just doesn't mean that I have to just bank on that. It's like, nah, I gotta put in the work too to make sure my pen, make sure my music, my melodies are up par too. So yeah.
it definitely comes through, and it's authentic, man. I've seen so much stuff out there. It's like people are trying to be like other people, and your stuff is
Facts.
still ringing through authentically, man. Can you talk about why it's important to stay authentic in this, I mean, in this world, and as an artist, and how you're able to do that given that there are all these influences out there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, I honestly I'm really big on this. I hope this doesn't sound harsh, but I'm really big on, man, like being authentic because I feel like the people that are not authentic is just it's just super corny, man, to like not
Yeah,
not be
man.
authentic and like, you know what I'm saying, not be real. Like that's really what I'm trying to be. It's like even with the messaging of the music, it's like if you listen to the messaging, it's like I'm not the one that's just talking about being perfect and doing all those things and trying to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. It's like, nah, I'm more so
Yeah,
coming from a place of like, nah, like I struggle with this, I do this, you know what I'm saying? But I'm keeping God first in this. I'm navigating it. I have mentors in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like my whole stance on this whole thing. I want people to relate of like, nah, this is a person too that's trying to figure it out. Like Aaron, my dog, for real. So it's like that goes with the music, that goes with the messaging, the whole nine. So it's just like, yeah, I'm just really big on that, man, because I really don't rock with the people that's not authentic. It's like you trying to just try to be, you know what I'm saying, somebody. It's like
yeah,
I'm gonna just be myself, man. And if you rock with that, cool. If you don't rock with that, go ahead and listen to whoever you want to listen to, because that's not it's not me.
yeah. Man, that's real, and really staying true to yourself, man. I really see that in what you're doing. Second to last question, you've been doing this for a while, and a
Yeah.
lot of folks might look at you and be like, "Oh, he don't know what he's doing."
Yeah.
He's young. I'm young.
Yeah.
Like but you've been doing this for a while. Can you talk about your journey and how it feels to be at this place? Releasing this album and getting
Yeah.
these, more acclaim and recognition. What's that journey been like for you?
Yeah. Man, it's been amazing, man. I just feel like I was telling somebody earlier, it's just like that's what this whole journey is about. It's like it's ups and downs. It's times where you want to give up. It's times where you know what I'm saying, feel like, is anybody paying attention anymore? Like things like that. But as you continue to go, like, and as you continue to keep going, you just feel like, man, like, okay, nah, like it's confirmation that you're on the right track. It's like if I would have stopped when I felt like, should I keep going? It's like I wouldn't be able to reach some of the goals that I reached this year of, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, on Sway and getting on, you know what I'm saying, free rapping for Sway and the whole nine. It's just like that's something that's been on my bucket list since I was a kid. So it's just like, man, for me, like I'm that's what I'm about, man. Just keeping going, bro. Like the season that I'm in right now is just building brick by brick. Like that's my whole thing. It's a lot of people that it happens fast for and it just, you know what I'm saying, they skyrocket to the top and they in arenas and they blah 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 blah. But it's just like, nah, like I feel like for me, I'm like I'm I'm the stands, like I'm the person that's standing and being like, nah, sometimes it takes time and sometimes it takes just building brick by brick to get where you're going. And I feel like you cherish, you know what I'm saying, the top
Yep,
more when you build in a slow place. You know what I'm saying? All the people that I've seen build brick by brick, it's like they have more longevity, they have more, you know what I'm saying,
yep,
happiness, you know what I'm saying,
yep.
fruitfulness, just being able to cherish the moments and the grinding years of it. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at now, man. I'm just enjoying it. It's like, man, it's like it's up downs, it's you know what I'm saying, and twists and turns, but I'm just grateful, man, to be in a successful career. You know what I'm saying? I get to take care of my family from this career, and I get to continue to just grow, man. I just got off, you know what I'm saying, pretty much my first headline tour. You know what I mean? Sorry, I changed
Yeah.
tour. And that went amazing. Just like people pulling up and really listening to the, you know what I'm saying, music and singing the music at the shows. It's just like, man, it's awesome. So
Wow,
I'm
man.
continuing to just grow, man, brick by brick.
It is, and it's amazing to see what you're doing now. The last question I ask you, and I try to ask this to as many people as I can, is
Mhm.
what advice would you give to young folks who are trying to be artists,
Yeah.
whether they're rappers or singers or whatever, and
Mhm.
also trying to be true to their faith? What advice would you
Yeah.
give to the young folks after they're out there coming after you?
Yeah. I would say off jump, make sure this is what God wants you to do. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because if it's not something that God wants you to do, you're gonna get tired quick and you're gonna want to give up. You're gonna want to give up quickly. I think the one thing that just keeps me on it is knowing that this is my calling. You know what I'm saying? And so it's
mm,
something that I love to do. So that'll be number one. Number two, man, I would say work on your craft each and every day. You know what I mean? It was a point in time before I got signed to Toby, before I was, you know what I'm saying, at this level where I was just every single day, I was writing a song. Every single day I was running and rapping, you know what I'm saying, my show set at the same time and then performing outside on my hill. Like I was really just putting in the boot camp and putting in the work to be where I'm
mm,
at now. So where it's like some people just forget that aspect and they just blow up on TikTok and then they get and they do a show and they're like, they running out of breath. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to work a crowd. They nervous. It's like, nah, put in all the steps, you know what I'm saying, that you can now. Work on the
yep,
interview aspect of it. Work on, you know what I'm saying, building your story, letting people know your story, the whole nine. And man, just keep going no matter what, because it's gonna be times where you want to give up, and it's gonna be times where people tell you you should give up. It's gonna be times where, you know what I'm saying, you don't know if you're even in the right ballpark or you're doing the right thing. But man, as long as you keep God first, man, you keep going, and you know that it's something that, you know what I'm saying, He's called you to do. As long as you keep going, man, you can't fail. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice, I would say.
and you're living it. Thank you for your example. I mean, and you was right. I love it. My daughter was like, I love it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
joint right there goes hard, man.
Let's go.
As so much
Appreciate
your
it.
music does, man. I appreciate you, Aaron. Urban Faith, you can get the album. It's out now. You can stream, check him out. Aaron Cole. Sorry I changed it again. And when the tour comes to your city, make
Yeah.
sure you pull up. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.